William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. You're going to sleep.
This is Cooking Casters for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Las Vegas. We're in camp. Hosea Burton. How are you, mate?
Very good, thank you.
Are you tired?
I'm a bit tired, yeah. I've been up since 5 this morning.
5 o'clock? Is that routine here?
No, I had to get up. I went and said a man about some chickens, funny enough.
You're in Las Vegas in the sweltering heat.
Yeah.
5 in the morning, which is still warm.
Yeah.
You went and saw a man about chickens?
And I drove 315 mile to go and see him. And I'm 315 mile back.
Is that a joke?
No, got some eggs, got to smuggle some eggs back home as well.
Did you actually go and see a man about chickens?
Yeah.
You drove that? How long did that take you?
4 hours there, 4 hours back.
Was it that important?
No, but it was a day off.
Alright, fair enough. Chicken's a big part of your life?
I don't mind them.
Are you making this up?
I'm telling you the truth, man.
Wow. Alright, it's a random thing to do, yeah. Okay, but when you're in Vegas, drive 315 miles to the...
Yeah, drive to you to have some chickens.
Yeah.
Some eggs.
Some eggs. Okay, alright. Obviously, you're not fighting this week, but you've been kind of in camp with Tyson and Isaac. How's that been?
It's been very good. We've enjoyed each other's company. Been good training, been good fun.
What's it like day to day? I mean, I've been with you guys this week, but you know, for the last sort of however many weeks you've been here, day to day, give us a kind of routine of what you used to do.
Wake up in the morning. First few days we was waking up at stupid o'clock in the morning. Just trying to get used to the jet lag, really. Get the time differences, but we'd go to the gym for 10 o'clock. We would do our first session there at top rank, just a boxing session. We'd go for a run in the evening. That was some days. Some days we'd just go for a run and then we'd go and do our strength training. Just them 2 days mixed up most of the week. We were supposed to have Saturday and Sunday off, but we never did because either Isaac or Tyson would always want to go for a run, so we never got to have any rest. FIFA tournaments, which we'll not talk too much about.
Why?
Just because I'm not very good at it. Got a pool table which I was mopping up with, like. But it's been good fun. It's been an experience.
So you're fighting on the 5th of July in Bolton. That's your next fight. So Saturday, that'll be 3 weeks away?
Yeah.
3 weeks away. So yeah, what is your situation now? I mean, obviously we know. Obviously you're with MTK and you're not working with Matchroom anymore. What happened there?
I just wasn't getting any love. I was getting no fights.
You was getting no love from Matchroom and Hearn, basically.
Yeah, well, the thing was, I don't sell tickets. I'm not a good ticket seller. Now, to be a successful boxer, you've got to sell plenty of tickets. Now, I've lost to one fight. I've lost to Frank, which I was in control for a hell of a long time of that fight, and I got done. That's ruined my boxing career. It's left me best part of 3 years now. I've had 5 or 6 fights in that time, and no further forward. I'm way back where I should be. You know, I should be way ahead of where I am, really. Like all last year, I was ready to go. As soon as I get an opportunity now, I will show how much I've came on. When I first fought Frank and I fought everybody else up until that, I didn't think I had to train as hard as other people because I was bred to fight. Like, fighting was in me. Like, I didn't have to train as hard as... I used to look at Crawler training. I used to think, what a little idiot that is. Like, why is he training so hard? You don't have to train that hard. It's only a fight. When you're really in a fight, you wish you had trained really hard. Like, they was all seeing their nutritionists and strength conditioning coaches, and I thought, what a waste of time, what a waste of money. But since I got beat, I've added them to the game, and I've improved a lot since then, but I've not had a chance to show it. So the full year of me being 29 had no fights. Like, I had 1 or 2 fights against bad journeymen. Couldn't get up for the fights. I'm 30 now, and I feel, as I was with Matchrooms, like my youth was getting stole away from me. Like, the best years of me was not getting rewarded. So went with MTK because they could get me fights. They're putting on a lot of shows. I've got a few fight deal with them, so if I win, I will win. I'll win my 3 fights with them, then they're going to get me a big fight. I'm up for the big fight straight away. I've had 7 months out the ring again, so that's not ideal. So I'm going to have this fight on the 5th. I'm going to win whoever it is, and hopefully push on for big things this year. I was speaking to the man at Top Rank there earlier on. Over me saying that Yarde's not going to fight Kovalev ever, I said, I'll be the perfect man. I'll step in. Because I say yes to fights. You know, I'd fight Kovalev in a second. Now, I know Kovalev's meant to be out like he's a world champion, and I shouldn't be speaking about world champions, but I've had 24 fights. I lost 2 rounds against Frank Buglioni. Other than that, I've not really dropped many rounds. Maybe dropped a couple of rounds against one of the last journeymen who I was fighting, because I really couldn't be bothered fighting him because I knew how bad he was, and it made me look bad because I didn't even want to fight him. But I don't know. I'll have to just get busy, knock a few people out this year.
It's interesting, kind of, you use that term as in reference to the Frank Buglioni fight, as that fight has ruined my career. But I kind of, when you're explaining it, I kind of totally get what you mean by that. It's kind of...
Just put me on hold.
Yeah.
If I won that fight, I would have fought for a world title by now. But I lost that fight, and that fight's killed me. Because it's not killed me because I don't feel as I got beat. Look, I was winning that fight, and then I got caught and I got beat. It's not like I got beat up then knocked out. I never done that. I was in fully control until the last 30 seconds of it. I got clipped high in the top of the head, and with me being so tired, and I was tired after round 3 in that fight. Next thing I knew, it was round 10. I thought, oh, I've done it now, I'm across the line. And then, standing up for the 11th, I could see him in that corner, but the room was like it was moving, even though it was all still. That's how tired I was. I was just fatigued in that fight, but that really put my career on hold. It done me in, that has.
And you would never get a chance to put that right because obviously Frank retired.
Well, I really thought that Frank's next fight should have been me, because the way that fight happened,
everyone wanted to see it as well.
Everyone wanted to see it. It was the second fight of the year. Chisora and White was the fight of the year, and we were second fight of the year. So that fight really should have happened, but Frank could sell tickets against anybody. That's why Eddie was looking after him, thinking we'll get a few quid in, and I just got left in the cold, basically. There's nothing against Eddie. He's a businessman. Listen, and he'd have 100 people like me, people who can fight but can't earn the money. So what's the point of really putting them on the shows? I don't. Bit like a dead weight. What do you want a dead weight around you for?
It's a shame because, like I said, we expected a rematch that never happened, and then the division is actually domestically quite good, and there's lots of fights that could have happened. but for one reason or another, not just you, but you know the likes of obviously Callum fought Frank himself, but we've had 2 fights where there could have been potential 6, 7, 8 fights between all of yous when Frank Buglioni was still fighting, and Yarde as well, etc. And yeah, it's a shame that we've only really got to see a couple of those fights.
There's a lot of people frightened to death to have a loss. A loss doesn't mean you have to retire from boxing. You know, a loss is not good, but a lot of people's too scared to take the chance. You know, 50-50 fights no good to them. And that's why we haven't had so many domestic dust-ups. As I say, I'm not being a boxer just to say I'm a boxer. I'm a boxer to have fights. You know, when a boxer's not fighting, he's not earning. I want to earn. I want to provide for my wife and children. And when I'm not fighting, I don't do anything else. I just train. I don't go to work. I don't have a job. I'm a pretty broke boxer, so I've got to have some fights.
Do you know what? Off camera, I just kind of said to you in jest the other day. I said, "Oh, sorry, Jose." I said to you, "Who are we going to call out?" And you turned around to me and you was quite serious when you said it. You just said, "What's the point?" Like, because we've been there. I mean, we've spoken about kind of all your rivals over the last year or so, and in an attempt to kind of maybe push something together and start something. But you're right. Sometimes it must feel like you're kind of going up against a brick wall.
It does feel like I'm beating my head against a brick wall, yeah, to be honest. Look, I've called out Yarde more times than enough. We was actually matched up. British Boxing Board made us, so me and him had to fight and Frank and Callum had to fight. I would love to have fought Yarde. Yarde was above me. He wasn't looking at domestic level, but yet he wanted to fight Frank Buglioni, who I was beating up. Okay, I lost, but I was beating Frank up. Frank got knocked out by Callum Johnson. Why didn't he want to fight Callum Johnson? He doesn't want to fight Callum Johnson because he knows there's a very good chance of him getting knocked out by Callum. Frank Warren's invested a lot of money in Yarde, so he doesn't want to risk him against domestic level. There's Craig Richards pricing himself out of the fight with me. There's I don't know who. Shakan Peters, is it Shakan Peters? I got offered. Sorry, mate. And I said yes, no problem. I said, but I've got a brother who's had 2 fights who would fight Shakan. What would be a more even fight because Shakan never had no good amateur experience, where I've had a lot of amateur experience. Zach only had 2 professional fights. It would have been a fairer match for Zach to fight Shakan than me to fight him because I just feel as I'm much more than fighting a 10-fight novice. Not being funny now, not being disrespectful to the man, but I just think I'm above him at this moment. So that fight never came off. I don't see the point in me shouting on and saying, "Oh, come on, I'll fight him and I'll fight him and I'll fight him and I'll fight him," because I've already done that and that's not happening. You know, there was talks of me and Boatsi. Never happened. It's a fight that should happen. Should happen soon enough. I forgot about that. Should happen.
That started in Newcastle, wasn't it? Was it in Newcastle we were?
Yeah, it was in Newcastle, yeah. Conroy got the job. Conroy's not a bad boxer, but it should have been me. It's just one of them things. It just seemed like if it wasn't for bad luck, I have no luck. So hopefully this year now with MTK, they usually deliver. What they say they're going to do, they do it, unless you fail. If you fail, well then it's up to yourself.
It's down to you as well.
Yeah, it's down to yourself, and that's all I really want. You know, throw me in the deep end, sink or swim. I'm happy for that. You know, I don't care who it is. Get me in there, If I fail, I fail, which I don't think I'm going to fail. I really do think all these men in Britain I can beat. Most of these men in the world I can beat. And I wouldn't say any of them could beat me until they did beat me. I can punch, I can box. I'm 6'4". I'm quite hard to hit. I've not been hit that many times as a professional. I'm probably the youngest 30-year-old out there. So, it's just if I get a chance.
Well, listen, I know it's getting late here, but yeah, I appreciate your time, and I do kind of look at you and I just think, yeah, just someone stick Burton in with someone, because
either give him a good hiding or give him a good fight, one or the other.
Well, yeah, the good fight part of it more so,
Yeah.
but you know, I can kind of see you have been kind of frustrated over the last sort of 2 or 3 years really, but let's hope that changes for you.
Let's hope.
Sooner rather than later.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, Mr. Burton, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and yeah, just hope Fury does the business in Vegas this Saturday.
Let's hope so.
No,
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. Thanks a lot, and we'll catch up with you soon, mate. All right?
Alright, thanks.
Come on.
William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. We're going to sleep.